Okay, so our soap stamp um, did not go quite as planned because, which was a design issue, I think. And when I printed it, it just came out to be a big block with all the supports in it and was difficult to stamp the soap with. So this is attempt number two at a soap stamp for my Valentine's soaps for the couples retreat. And I'm going to take make a couple changes that I think will help this, and look at a couple new techniques in the process. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. We're going to go back into Tinkercad. So this is my standard soap stamp here, right there, and I've cut the top off. And I'll tell you why I cut the top off, because what I want to do is I want to put this heart on top. But before I do that, I've measured the heart mold, and it's 2.5 inches tall, 2.5 inches wide. But I want to keep the soap stamp well within the parameters of that soap and not get too close to the edges. So this right here, the default one is 1.3 by 1.4. We want to maintain that shape, and actually that's not the dimensions of that shape. So that's actually not too bad. I think we could go a little bigger though. So I'm going to hit the shift key and pull this down so it maintains its size. And I think if we got out to that's pretty good there. Now, obviously, this is too thick, so for soap stamp. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this down, and I'm also going to change it to millimeters. So we play with it a little better. And I like to keep the thickness here because that gives us something solid to stamp with. So I'm going to kind of place that over there. Let's get that centered. That down onto the base. Like that. Select both of them and let's center them. Okay, so this then becomes the soap stamp. Um, but you want enough room here on the bottom to hold this. So I'm going to go ahead and undo that. Let me go and raise that, and I'm going to make this taller. Kind of like that. Now let's bring this back down. Should still be centered, but let's go ahead and check it out. Yeah. Let's go ahead and combine them now. All right, so that creates a soap stamp. And what I like about that heart on top is that it gives me a better visual for when I'm actually trying to stamp the soap. And then the base gives me something that I can hold on to, and I can also use a mallet if I choose to. All right, so here's my text that I want to put on there. However, if you've seen some of my earlier videos, this text has flat edges. Flat edges works often, but what I found works better is that if you have those edges chiseled where they come to more of a point. The technical term for that is called chamfering. So we're going to chamfer. We're going to chamfer FBC here, and we're chamfering the back edge because, as we know, we have to put this on the stamp backwards in order for it to appear correctly on the soap. So you don't want to chamfer the front edge, you want to chamfer the back edge. So to do that, I select the letters that I want. Now I created those letters, once again, I created those letters using the text object in Tinkercad, and then I just changed it to FBC and then adjusted the lettering size as needed. So we're going to send this to Autodesk, and we'll call it FBC chisel, something like that. And send it, open in local desktop. And this will take just a minute or two to bring up. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video. We'll be right back. Okay, so we are in Fusion, and this is the tool that we use to do some text manipulation. And for this purpose, what we're doing is something called chamfering. So we select an edge, and we can select multiple edges. So I'm going to hold the Shift key down. I'm not doing the ends, just the edges. Then I'll use the right mouse button to select, and we'll choose chamfer. And then we'll do, I found the 0.75 seems to work the best. And we got an error. So you see it highlighted this edge here. It didn't like that. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel that. It's interesting learning to use Fusion because there's definitely some tricks that I have not yet learned. So you notice that when I selected that edge by itself, oh, okay, we don't want equal distance. We want distance and angle is what we want. So let's do 75 degrees. Okay. So let's see if we can, so you see how it chamfered that edge there, okay? So what we want to do now is we want to do the other edges. And let's see, now that I've done that edge, if it allows me to do the other edges without an error. Okay, now it's giving me an error for the other edge. So let's just select that edge and try it on its own. No, it's going to give me a error on that one too. Oh, I see why. It's already been chamfered. So you see it's already got the angle. So what it's telling me is that, and why I'm getting the error is because it's already done it once, and trying to do it on itself is not what it is allowing me to do. So we'll select the remaining edges to see if we can chamfer them. So it looks like these edges have also, or that edge has already been chamfered. Oh, I see what's happening. Okay. The top edge All right, so I selected text that had already been chamfered. That is the problem. You see that? That's the top edge there, has already been chamfered. You see if I turn that around? I did that already. So what's happening is that I'm trying to rechamfer it on the other end, and it's not happy with that. It doesn't want to chamfer it twice. So we're going to have to select different text. So we're going to stop um, this video, and we're going to come back with a new set of text. Hang on. Okay, so what we're going to do is actually start over. So let's select our text object. We're going to use sans because it has square edges. And when we're chamfering, we don't want these rounded edges because it has difficulty doing that. So we're going to change it to these squared edges. We're going to call this FBC, First Baptist Church. And then we're going to rotate this. Now, all right. Now we'll probably change the size of this text, but let's go ahead and send that to Autodesk Fusion. Call that in FBC Edge, something like that. And I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording. Okay, so we're back, and I've now done the F. Again, starting with square edges. So let's go ahead and show you how I did that with the C. So I'll select both edges, select this edge, hold the shift key, select that edge, do the right mouse click, chamfer, distance and angle, 0.75 and 75 degrees. Okay. And now you can see that that C is chamfered. So I'm going to go ahead and do the B, and then I'm going to do the remaining letters, and we will return back to Tinkercad to put that onto the soap pad. So hang tight. So we're sharing our screen here. We're just finishing up with chamfering for the letters. One thing I wanted to point out here that I think is interesting is that when I chamfer the edges on the two, it creates this little square edge there. So I'm going to go ahead and chamfer that also. You see how it creates kind of just a little more edgier edge there. So I think that would be better. Then the final step here is we go ahead and we select the file and export it, 2025 edge, and we want to save it as an STL type file, now, which is not the default. The default is Autodesk Fusion file, but we want to save it as an STL file so that we can import it into Tinkercad. So we'll go ahead and export it. And that's where we'll pick up. So we're going to go ahead and stop the video and pick it back up in Tinkercad. So we are back in Tinkercad, and you can see that I saved all of our letters here. I do want to just point out the difference. We'll choose this 2025 one here. So just to illustrate the difference between chamfered and non-chamfered, you can see the kind of the beveled edges here and versus the flat edges. And that's going to help it get down into the soap better. So let's go ahead and reorient this, and we can get rid of that 2025. And Now all we have to do is just kind of get these all aligned. You'll notice I eliminated the word couples just to simplify. The fewer words, um, the larger you can make them and the better that they imprint on the soap. So we're going to keep these fairly close together, I think. Now I can select them all. We can center them together, so reselect them, and then we can bring them all down into manageable size. Just take a eyeball it for now. Go ahead and raise all those up. Get those hovering somewhere over the soap stamp. And you can see they're still a little big. I'm going to go ahead and combine those so I can manipulate them all together. Still a little big. Just needs to be a little narrower. I think we're okay on the width. But let's go ahead and narrow that just a little bit. That's looking pretty good right there. Maybe can even go down a little bit. That, although we're getting close to the edge there. So let's go ahead and move that up just a touch. All right. Go ahead and center all of that. And I didn't like the way it centered that, so let's undo that. And I think we're going to have to eyeball that. It really doesn't matter as much on this because we're going to be stamping it anyway. So we don't want 10 millimeters, something around 5 millimeters is ideal. And we want to just embed that enough in the soap that it will go well in the 3D printer. So let's go ahead and lower that a little bit and have enough left for the actual stamping. So I'm thinking that's looking pretty good. There, perfect. Let's go ahead and combine those. So what we have is a soap stamp with chamfered edges on the text and in a form that I think will be easier to see the stamp, see the soap while you're stamping it. So we're going to go ahead and save this, get it on the 3D printer. So our next step, again, will be to import this into Cura once I save it, and we'll be right back with that step. So we are in Cura, and I'm going to go ahead and open up the file that we created for our new and improved soap stamp. Here it is. Go ahead and move that on the bed just a bit there. Go ahead and increase the size there. And there you can see our chamfer text on the heart. Now I could have put embedded if you know what's on the stamp on the soap stamp, the other side of it, just so you know when you're using the stamp you know what it is. But I'm skipping that step for now. We want this to be good quality, so I'm going to do super quality, and I'm going to slow down the speed. The infill speed, I'm okay at being really fast, but for the wall speed, I think I want to go slower, so we can do that about 60 for the top and bottom. Same thing, we want it to be slow, so it's good. Travel speed's fine. Initial layer speed, we can keep that fast. Travel speed, okay. So I think that this should be good. I'm going to slow down that initial layer speed just a little bit, I think. This will make it take longer, but that's okay. We want to get it right. So let's go ahead and slice that. Hour and a half, not bad. And I think that because of um, just to be on the safe side, I don't know that it needs it, but I'm going to put a brim on this. Which will give it more stability in the print. I do have some adhesion problems from time to time on the print bed, so I think this will help improve that. And just take not much more time. So we're going to print that, and you can see I already got it. You can hear it humming. It's warming up, and we'll check on the progress later and see what it looks like when it's done, and give it a test. So thanks for hanging in there, and hopefully this one works. So the print is underway, and it is currently working on it's actually the top of the soap stamp, and will work its way up towards the base with the letters. And so we'll check it when it's done and give it a try. Finished printing. Has some strands in it that I need to clean up. Probably something to do with the heat of the nozzle, but I think we can go ahead and clean that up, and we'll give it a test. Be right back with that. And here's the result. Voila. And, just learning the proper pressure, I think will help. Now I'm kind of wondering, though, whether I could put some mica in there and even make it pop a little more. But I like how that one turned out. I pressed a little harder on that, and I think it's much clearer. So I think we'll go with that technique. I did put some plastic over that before I pressed, along with some isopropyl alcohol, and that helped with the release. So let's demold them and see how it looks.